Go crazy, Minshew maniacs. Your boy is starting. I'm Joe Dolan, and this is the Fantasy Points Daily Lineup for Friday, December 23rd, 2022.
It's time for the FantasyPoints.com Daily Lineup. Staying on top of the latest news and updates around the NFL. Rise and shine, folks. We're taking the field. Here's your host, FantasyPoints.com's Joe Dolan.
Starting at quarterback for the Eagles on Christmas Eve is officially Gardner Minshew. Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni said Thursday that Minshew will start Saturday's game in Dallas. Now, the Eagles invest in backup quarterbacks for this very reason, as further injury to Jalen Hurts would be hugely damaging for their Super Bowl chances, although not necessarily fatal. We'll get to somebody you might remember. Minshew is more than capable of throwing to the Eagles' high-end weapons if he's protected, and Philly did a good job keeping Hurts clean the last time these two teams faced. It's also worth noting that star tight end Dallas Goedert caught all 6 of his passes for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns the last time he and Minshew played together, when Hurts missed a game with a high ankle sprain last year. Minshew is absolutely a viable quarterback streamer this week against a very leaky Dallas secondary. We're 3 for 3 in talking about Ken Walker in our running back spots this week, but they keep giving us a little more stuff to talk about. Despite not practicing all week, Walker is questionable for Saturday's game against the Chiefs. Now, Walker was a little sore. That was a direct quote from Pete Carroll after last Thursday's game, which was his return from an ankle injury. But Carroll told reporters on Friday he thinks all the Seahawks' questionable players, including Walker and DJ Dallas, also in the backfield, will play. With the Seahawks playing for their playoff lives, they'll probably do everything in their power to get him active, but it's hard to take positive Pete at full face value here. Even if he does go, Walker likely can't be trusted with his usual workload. And the Seahawks are also 10-point road underdogs, which could lead to more work for Travis Homer as in a passing down role. Now, Walker's a volatile RB2 even if he does play, but if he goes, he's obviously the best bet in this backfield. We've got to watch Latavius Murray in our RB2 spot. The Broncos veteran running back didn't practice on Thursday with a foot injury. Now, Murray was listed as limited on Wednesday, so a DNP on Thursday after what appeared to be a fully healthy Week 15 contest seems to be the dreaded midweek downgrade. That would suggest he got injured in Wednesday practice, which could put his status this weekend against the Rams in jeopardy. Coach Nathaniel Hackett called the DNP precautionary, but we do still have to keep an eye on this. Further complicating matters are multiple factors. Number 1, the Broncos play on Sunday when most games are on Saturday. Number 2, Chase Edmonds had his IR practice window activated, so he is trending towards a return. But if Murray is a key cog in your fantasy playoff lineup, Marlon Mack must be rostered ASAP. The Saints are down their top 2 wide receivers in Week 16. Chris Olave will miss the Saints' tilt in Cleveland with a hamstring injury. Meanwhile, Jarvis Landry heads to injured reserve with an ankle injury. Landry's first and likely only season with the Saints ends with 25 catches and 1 touchdown. He will hit free agency and will likely have to settle for a 1-year deal if he wants to keep playing. Meanwhile, Olave will not play in the brutal conditions in Cleveland on Saturday. With Olave out and Landry on IR, I seriously wonder, this was an observation Scott Barrett made, if the Saints are just going to give serious thought to just running the wing tee with Taysom Hill instead of having Andy Dalton chuck the ball downfield to Rashid Shaheed in 30-mile-per-hour winds. This game has the potential to be extremely ugly, as is evidenced by the projected point total of around 32, which is the lowest in over a decade. Shaheed is a prayer wide receiver 3, and I mean a prayer. Juwan Johnson, the young tight end, might end up being the biggest beneficiary here. Deontay Johnson is questionable in our wide receiver 2 spot. Deontay, who didn't practice Thursday and is listed as questionable for Saturday's night game against the Raiders, expects to be back on the field Friday. This is per Teresa Varley of the Steelers' official website. Quote, "It was just a little toe, nothing major. I am good," Johnson noted Thursday. Apparently he's dealing with turf toe, and let me tell you something. I'm dealing with turf toe right now. It has been lingering for about 4, 5, 6 weeks. My pain level is about a 2 right now. I'm also not a professional athlete. I should probably throw that caveat out there. But there was a point when I could barely walk. I don't know about Deontay, though. Quote, I am going to be out there tomorrow. They just gave me a little 2 days off to let it rest. It's nothing major. Come on, Deontay. He currently has 123 targets on the season without a receiving touchdown, which would break the NFL record for most targets without a touchdown. We're hoping Deontay is out there as a PPR wide receiver 3 to either extend his record or, for his sake, put an end to it by scoring a touchdown. It looks like he will be out there if he's to be believed. Of course, the return of Kenny Pickett to the lineup from a concussion is potentially problematic. Deontay averages 12.8 fantasy points per game in games in which Mitchell Trubisky has appeared this year. He averages just 9.5 fantasy points per game in games he does not. In our flex spot, we have the little Saint Nick. Veteran Nick Foles will start for the Colts in Monday night's game against the Chargers. The Colts have benched Matt Ryan for the second time this year, and it's looking like Ryan's career is going to end in a sad fashion. He simply doesn't have it anymore. What's more, he's taking a beating playing for this woeful offense. Foles, meanwhile, has been more than capable as a backup in his career. You might remember a certain run to glory. Foles will probably be more aggressive as a thrower than Ryan, which could mean fewer empty calorie targets for Michael Pittman and more downfield looks for Alec Pierce. I'm Joe Dolan. This has been the Fantasy Points Daily Lineup, and it's kind of amazing that we're coming to an end here. We've got just I think 1 week left of the program, maybe 2. Maybe I'll do it in week 18. We'll see. It just depends on what the demand is. Anyway, if you want more content at fantasypoints.com, go to the website. Subscribe to our super early bird special. If you already have a 2022 subscription, it gets you all of 2023. If you don't have a 2022 subscription, it gets you the rest of 2022 and all of 2023 at 30% off. No promo code needed. You just need to go and sign up. You will be really glad you did. This is the best rate you'll get all season long. It's a Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, treat. Happy holidays, everybody, and I'll talk to you next week.